So every time I get ready to make you a video, I forget to turn the video function on to photo booth, whatever it's called. So I take a picture of myself looking dopey because I'm getting ready to talk, and then it's like ching, flash photo. And I guess I really could go and delete all those, but they're kind of entertaining when I go back and look through all my photos. I have like 800 of me being like, and like mid-word, even though no word really has in the middle of it, but you know what I mean. I just got back to Chicago. Not to Chicago. I just got back from Chicago to Ann Arbor. So now I'm in my dorm. The bike ride from the train station to back to my dorm, you would think that the ride from my dorm to the station would have been awful because I had to make it in like 10 minutes if I wanted to make my train because it was, last minute and all that. But that was all downhill. It didn't really occur to me that coming home or going back to my dorm, it would be all uphill. So it took me like half an hour to bike from the train station to Lloyd. Plus, I had a box of chocolates from Anna Shea's, which is the best chocolate on earth, and I didn't want to like crush that or anything, so had to make sure that was safe. So that made riding even harder. But to make matters worse, my train, I don't remember if I texted you about this, my train was delayed like an hour and 45 minutes, but it wasn't like an hour and 45 minutes before we got on the train. It was like in the middle, like outside of Kalamazoo. So we were just like sitting there, and we were supposed to get to Ann Arbor at 5:45, and at 7:45 we ended up finally pulling in. So it was all dark when I was biking back, which is always annoying. But I was able to get food at the Victor's because that's always open, and I love it, and they have the best sandwiches. And they also had sushi. Sorry. They had, oh my god, sorry. Sushi. They had sushi. Wow, that took me so long to get to that point. They had sushi, but it wasn't like good sushi. Like most of it, today is the 19th, and it expires on the 21st. I'm like, no, I'm sure it expires well before the 21st because sushi doesn't last more than a day. So I made sure I got some that like vegetable, so even if it was on the shelf for a while, it wouldn't be that bad, and it was okay. It tasted good. The rice was a little hard, which is awkward. So if I'm like sick tomorrow, that's why. So I was telling you via text on the train about screenplay writing, and I'm excited to take like a class on screenplay writing because I'm not sure I'm doing it right. Like I've seen screenplays, so I know the basic form, but I don't know exactly how it is. So I feel a little limited in how I write it until I'm like more comfortable with the style. But other than that, I find it a lot easier to write than novels. I think because you pointed out before how I have a more like how all of my writing is more like narration dialogue, and it's like very kind of very script like. What else is new? I got an email from the. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it or not. I'd like to. Sorry, let me. The global intercultural student. I don't know. Can't remember their acronym. But anyway, it's basically study abroad, but with more of like a service internship sort of slant. I just got a random email from the program. I don't remember if I had like signed up for their email list or whatever. But anyway, they're having info meetings tomorrow, and they some of the projects they do, it'll be over the summer, like for 4 weeks. Some of the projects they do are really interesting. The one I'm most interested in is it's in Hawaii, so of course I'm interested in it. But it's about education and stuff like that, and it would be working with some of the Hawaiian students and with their schools and stuff for summer programs and teaching them like English and math and tutoring them. And if I don't learn to speak properly, and as you can see I've been messing up like 800 times in this video, they probably won't want me, but I'd still like to do it. The other one that was interesting when I was reading it, it was puppet making in Italy, which I mean sounds completely useless. Like, oh, how'd you spend your summer? I was making puppets in Italy. And then of course who's running it is my art professor, Mark, who I told you about earlier. The weird thing is you don't apply for a specific location, you apply to the program and then they place you. And I'm a little leery about doing it because there's like 12 different places and 10 of them I wouldn't want to go to. They're like Beijing or Ghana. And I mean, not that I wouldn't like to visit those places, it's just that, I don't know, I would feel slightly out of my element. So I guess that I would have some input as to where I go, but if they just kind of placed me, I might end up backing out. I wouldn't. I would do it, but I probably wouldn't be terribly happy with it. That sort of thing. But, so yeah, if it were Italy or Hawaii, of course, I would want to go. But the application process is kind of rigorous, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. Here's the book that you want to borrow. Barbara Kingsolver, The Lacuna. It's beautifully long. I'm excited to read it. I'm not very far in it at all. I'm only 28 pages into it. I started it, I actually bought it over the summer. When I was going to San Diego, I needed something to read on the plane, but obviously I didn't get very far because I had all my other summer reading to do in the Iliad and the Odyssey, so it's been put on the back burner, and then I got Clockwork Angel and read that, so it really was on the back burner, but I had left it in Chicago, so I brought it back this time, but, yeah, I'm excited to read it, and I'm excited to lend it to you after I'm done, and then we could have little book chats, because I love talking about books and things. Oh, and I'm so glad that somebody like you shares my interests so I can talk and yabber on and they will listen and we can have great fun chats. So yeah, I don't know how this looks, but that's pretty typical for the diag. Just random shit going on. But this is pretty cool though. You should have seen when we had not life-size, but almost life-size dinosaurs that the architecture club had made. That was cool. I thought that to make your video more interesting, I would have some outside shots, because what's more interesting than being outside, especially when it's such a nice fall day like it is today. I was depressed because I thought that, it's going to be wintry soon, so then, but today it's like, I don't know, it's like 50 degrees out and the sun is out and there's all sorts of colors on the trees, and I just fed a squirrel, which means it's still fall because they haven't all hit away yet. But, yeah, so it's pretty. Here, I'm going to give you a little view of the diag and how pretty it is in the fall. Oops. There I am again. Yeah, people just looked at me funny. They're like, why is she spinning her computer around? But I hope that turned out to be a good shot. Yeah, so I actually got out of astronomy, the fun one, the mini course, and, I hope you can hear me, it's kind of windy. But basically, in astronomy, we were talking about how small and insignificant we are and how, the universe is, like, huge and we're such a tiny part of it. And then that compounded with what we were doing in my more boring astronomy class, the 142, the one that you might have noticed my Facebook status makes you question everything you've ever known about life. But, yeah, so in that one we were doing general relativity, which is, like, space is curved and all that, and, like, there's a fourth dimension that we can't even perceive. And, yeah, so I was just thinking, I'm like, I don't get it. It boggles my mind. And, like, I get it well enough for, like, the test, but I don't, like, get it on a level that, like, how it reflects on my life. And then I got to thinking, just being out today and how beautiful it is, that it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm pretty content with my Earth, like, here, like, 3 dimensions, small. I don't need anything bigger than that. Like, I mean, I love watching, like, Doctor Who, and he goes, like, to the edges of the universe and all that. I mean, it's fun, but, you know, just for me, I don't need that. Like, I have everything I need just right here. Pretty fall days, and, bugs on me, and squirrels to feed, and I don't know, it's just, it's good. So, I'll try to do well on those tests, but after they're done, I'm going to go back to my three-dimensional thinking. Be the square in the flat land that can't perceive the apple. But yeah, I'm happy, so makes it worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna go stick this little clip into that video and see if it makes it any more interesting, because it desperately needed something to make it more interesting, but we'll see. Hasta la vista. What do you do if you need a book all the way up there and you're very short like me? You grab a chair and be super sketchy standing on it and hope that nobody walks into the library. I can just reach. Haha.